couldn't be here. I trust you me, I twisted his arm like crazy, but it did not work at all. We then decided, okay, we'd at least get him here by Skype, but came to find out that they wanted $350 for 5 minutes with Hal. And of course, Hal, we love you, but we don't love you that much. But he is on the phone. Hear that, Hal? When we're done here, the phone will be right here. And Judah, you don't mind if people use your phone?
It's actually going to be Kip's phone.
It's actually going to be Kip's phone, okay. So Kip's phone is available for you to speak to him and offer him personally your congratulations. Please be sure to do that. As we did with the Critical Criminologist of the Year Award, we have a few people who would like to say a few words. We have Judah Shept, a doctoral student who has studied with Hal, who would like to share a few thoughts. We also have Kip, who would like to share a few thoughts, as will Jeff. And then I have a couple of paragraphs directly from Hal's pen that I will read to you all, communicating his appreciation for this award. So we're going to start with Judah, who would like to share a few thoughts in terms of Hal and his contribution.
Hey, folks. Hey, Hal. Sort of very strange feeling to be talking to Hal virtually through video right here and audio right here. So, like Michael said, I'm a PhD candidate at Indiana University and taught with Hal for a number of years. And there were really countless times, tens and tens of times over those few years that I taught with Hal that students would come up to me as a discussion leader and talk about not just the influence of the course, but really the life-changing quality of the class that both Chris Magna, who's here in front, and I were the discussion leaders for, that Hal is the professor for. Some of the time it was the content of the class that they were referring to, talking about the prison industrial complex, talking about colonialism, talking about restorative justice. But more often than not, actually, it wasn't the content that they were saying was life-changing, but it was Hal's pedagogy. Students would tell me that the class and their experience in the class with Hal marked the first time that they felt empowered as students and valued as students for their perspective, even if it was like strongly, vehemently disagreeing with Hal, which is frequently the case. They felt that it was the first time that they felt validated as experts of their own experience and experts of their own lives. And it's not incidental that they felt this way. Perhaps Hal's contribution to this field that I personally value the most is his imploration to us that we see all of our relationships, and certainly those that occur in the classroom with our students, as political and as opportunities for building peace. And not some abstract, naive, or utopian sense of peace, but peace in the sense of being accountable to power imbalances that exist in our lives and certainly in the classroom, and transparent about who we are. And as radical or critical criminologists, it's my perspective that this is Hal's greatest gift, to make sure that as we turn our scholarly lenses to mass incarceration, to imperialism, to state crime, to neo-colonial practices abroad and even in our own communities, that we be just as attuned to the ways that we also might be replicating those relationships and oppressive practices in our classrooms or amongst our families and friends, right? That we be self-reflective as we also educate and teach and study these same practices that make us critical or make us radical. So to Hal, all my love and appreciation for really enabling this own sort of self-awareness in my own practice as a scholar and as an educator, but also, frankly, as a father, right? That's Hal's greatest gift, is to think about all the stuff as it relates to our own lives. So Hal, thank you so much. Thank you.